Father, we ask a very special blessing on everyone here and everyone that's missing. May those that are hurting be put to ease. Father, may you bless each and every one of us as we leave this place. For all the volunteer work that's done in the field in so many, many different ways and means. We ask all this in the precious name. Y'all say, Amen.
Sorry, we had to make it change.
It's two.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Financial report. All right. First, I want to apologize to everyone. Because last month I mentioned that we were in the process of switching from giving you reports on an accrual basis to a cash basis, but also being able to have those expenses and incomes broken down by different departments within Hilltop. Well, I failed to get that done because I had another grandbaby, a little girl, and so I did not get back here until late Friday night to be able to work with the staff to get that put into place. That's still going to happen. It just didn't happen this month when I'm starting. On our profit and loss for the month of January, as with all of us, the beginning of the year brings us our biggest challenges, which are our taxes and insurance. And so that was one of the areas this month that caused our budget to be, our income to be below what we had expected. So we had over $100,000 in taxes, property taxes, $101,575.56, and we had our insurance premium down payment was due in January as well, which was $81,389.68. From an income side, activities in the month of January brought in a little over $16,000. The pro shop, over 16, nearly $17,000. $2,700 at the lodge, and then just general administrative. Those are like fees, maintenance fees, late fees, boat stickers, ACC permits, all of those other kind of things. Was $291,386.71 in income, bringing us to the total of $330,132 in income once we got rid of our cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold is related to the pro shop. That's the food and the merchandise that they purchase in the pro shop and then sell in the pro shop. Everything else was pretty much in line, other than our taxes and insurance. And there's two areas that were a little bit behind from where we normally are in January. One of those is on people paying their annual maintenance fee. There was a delay in getting out the coupons this past year in December. And so where normally we would see a lot of that come in at the beginning of January, a lot of it has been coming in at the end of January, beginning of February. So we'll see that'll all even out once we get to the end of February, March, but that's where that is. And then the second area that we normally see an influx is with trail fees at the golf course, and that was delayed because of stickers, the stickers to go on the golf carts. The company sent us, instead of 2 sets of 500 numbers, they sent us 1 set of 1,000 numbers. So we had to get that corrected and get those additional ordered and in. So we'll see that pick up again next month.
So, we had some extraordinary expenses.
Extraordinary.
Yes, and so the bottom line is, it's correct, it's self-correct.
It is self-correcting, yes.
But we open the floor to any questions that anybody might want to ask on that. Yes, ma'am.
You roll security payroll into payroll?
Yes. Now that that's not a separate contracted entity, now that it's part of our staff, it is in payroll. Yes.
So I haven't asked about this in quite some time, so have you heard anything or checked on the employee retention credit?
Yes, we have been in contact with the company that was pursuing that, and we have gotten no updates from them. And I think our latest interaction with them was just, again, 2 weeks ago, and they had no update for us.
Okay. Just checking, because
Something is coming, we say it's going to win, and how much?
I just wondering, because I still get updates from my friend, so I'm just.
I think it kind of went on a hiatus when the government shut down in the fall, and I don't know that any of that has picked back up again at all. So, it's the government.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Is there a time frame on when the budgets for the different entities will be released?
That's one of the things I didn't get to do because I was gone having a great baby. Sorry.
Yeah, we will definitely release the information. And the good thing is, we worked hard on this budget, and we're hanging in on that budget. And so we're keeping our commitment to make sure that we bring spending under control and get the necessary revenues that we need to move forward. We would be very excited to get employee retention credit, because it can help us on cash flow. And secondly, we can move forward with some capital projects and some other things that need to be prepared, like roads. To this point, still struggling a little bit on the roads. I want to let y'all know that. So we'll get to that a little later. Okay, pro shop reports. Glenn, I think you were just going to start this in. Front center, sir.
First off, I'd like to say I'm not Candace. Good evening. I'll provide a brief update on the pro shop performance for the month of January. Total pro shop revenue came in at $6,900,000.
detailing all carts and ensuring everything is ready for the upcoming busy season. Join us for a group golf lesson on 2/22. From 1 to 2 p.m. The cost is $25 per person, which includes range balls. Be sure to grab the flyer on the table on your way out for a nominal fee. And she ran those in black and white to say color copy because she's cheap like that. Can I get an applause?
Yes, sir.
That's all.
All right, from additional information on the golf course, there is an issue with, what hole is it? 15? 15? With the restrooms, and it may be that it has something to do with field lines, with sewage, maybe a problem, but Tony is putting together some action reports and some budgeting. Other than that, sorry, yes ma'am.
Did something happen, wasn't the lease on the golf cart, and we're not even going to make any decision on something?
It'll run at the end of the year, it runs out. Yeah,
Oh, I thought it was, you know, something I didn't know that.
Yeah.
We're trying to keep it at the forefront so that we don't get behind. And so we're currently soliciting where new golf cart lease options.
So the sprinkler system is working well. As you know, when you have automation and control, there's always issues, and sometimes Brian just has to go physically turn it on while they troubleshooting the electronics aspect of it. But it's watering well. They're reaching out a little further with the water, so everything is good Brian's doing a good job with that golf course. Post office report.
So the post office always ceases to amaze me. Those girls work through a lot of mail and packages every single day. So currently we have 40 boxes available to rent. 32 are small, 8 medium. In January they processed 5,900 incoming packages and about 48 pieces of letter mail. Outgoing packages about 170. We just want to make sure that when you come to the post office, make sure you don't go around the back or the side or where the truck parks. We just want to make sure no one gets injured over there. And then do not park in front of the side of the building. That is where the truck unloads packages. So just make sure when you're coming up there, not to park there. Yes, sir.
Did you say 5,900 incoming packages?
Yes.
And the flat mail is only 48?
48,000.
Okay.
You didn't say that.
Oh, I'm sorry, 48,000. I went to Houston back then.
Building and landscape report, Tony?
Hello?
Yep.
Okay, as far as buildings go, right now we're working on, got some projects as far as changing out hot water heaters, get that assessment done on select panels and main breakers. They need to be changed out, still getting estimates on that. That's about all the active stuff that we have. As far as roads go, guys been out on vacation last week and they haven't touched base with us since they did that, but that's all I've got.
And we're going to put some emphasis on road from an engineering perspective, and make sure we're getting that material in the middle and getting that crown. So we're going to work on that. I'm going to personally get involved with Tony and see if I can do it.
You gotta hold it close.
Hello?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Question.
Yeah.
TJ Foley has been saying that he's acquired well sand for the county, and is there any talks with him about getting some of our roads well sand?
Oh, yes, sir. Absolutely. That is on the agenda. That is on the agenda.
I know a lot of times, in the past, the county hasn't been willing to work with us, so I didn't know if that was
He was
something
able
that
to
was.
resolve that. And look, financially speaking, this is the hot ticket. But we've got to get these roads prepared. Our
just want to make sure that, we're gonna get a piece of that pie.
Yes.
Yeah, so we worked out a deal with them on an agreement, right, where it's so much sand we give them, and then they make the oil sand for us. And then, so that's exactly what we're back to that deal. We got that deal, and then the weather turned cold, and you have to lay it down at a certain temperature, and you also have to do the pre-work, but yes, TJ Foley has come through on that promise. He has given us, we have Tony and anybody else correct me wrong, we have a pile of oil sand ready to go when we can get it.
Financially speaking, it's a great deal. I mean, think of a truckload of sand that you get, say 12 cubic yards. It's around $400, $400. The calculated cost of sand mix when you get your yield is around $25 a truckload. So it's very, very economical. And when it's applied right, it looks like paid for it. So we're really excited about it. We got to get better in preparation. We know, I know. Yes.
With the high concentration of sand that we have on our roads, could you just put oil down?
I think so. I think you can do some of that. It depends on, what the composition of the road material is there. But yes, sir, the answer to your question is you can. The thing that's most important, however, is to get a base so it just doesn't eat it. We can see in some places where rocks pop through. We want to make sure that doesn't happen. So we've got some engineering to do. That's the bottom line. Okay. And that was the roads and service report. I think that we probably, moving sand around is a little different than other kinds of soils. There's a different angle of repose. If you're pushing sand along, it'll just fall off to the side. So you really got to understand what you're doing. That's probably what we need to do. As much as I hate to say it, I don't mean it that way, but DR probably has very good skills and knowledge on that. We probably ought to tap into him and see if he can help us technically, if we can get past some of the superfluous stuff we have to go through. But if you can hone in on what he knows how to do, we probably ought to latch on to it, really. So I'm gonna reach out. Let's see if we can do something there. All right. Business officer. Okay, so we're looking for now. Okay, committee reports. ACC, Steve. Here.
Okay, so, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so, we have 24 active permits in the community right now, for January, So, one house, one story building, 3 lot clearings, 2 fences, and 1 room addition. Things are picking up. We've got some things in the community that we're dealing with, working through. But we have a fine group of volunteers. And we're all working for the benefit of the community. If you have any questions, reach out. Any questions right now?
What's your name?
Stephen Beard.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Appreciate it. Activities committee, Amber? There she is.
Hello. Can you hear me
You
now?
said okay.
In January, we only had 3 rentals, so not very many. 2 in the community center, 1 in the Tonker room. In January, there was a lot We also introduced the Hilltop Challenge checklist, which there's 20 people signed up. And then the reading program, we have 3 people signed up. And then we had some activities. We had a community game night, which will be a one-time-a-month thing that's going on now. We had a story time planned, but it was canceled because of the weather. We also had part of an ongoing series, Neighbors Teaching Neighbors. Dee of Florida did a cooking class. Tiffany was there. She was there. It was pretty great. It was awesome. There were about 30 people there, and people loved it enough that I think we're going to have Dee doing her own cooking class once a month. But that will be, there is one the last week of February. She will have a class. And then we also had a community open house at the end of January, and it was pretty well attended. There were about 21 different clubs or organizations there, and then 30 to 40 attendees. There was an sign-up sheet, so it's or a sign-in sheet, so it's kind of hard to know how many people came through, but we were pretty busy most of the time. And now we also have a newsletter, and so y'all can't see this, but the board can. There's a little chart on our website, or what we use to design our website. I can get reports, kind of, sort of, but it shows the number of page views, and they are pretty steady, but the day that the January newsletter came out, it spiked pretty significantly. So that's just showing that people were visiting the website to see the newsletter, which makes me happy. So.
And if you have not signed up for alerts on the website, please go to the website and sign up for alerts, because that's how we're pushing out information.
Including the newsletter.
Including the newsletter.
And on that, you'll be able to see upcoming events, news, etc. There's a lot going on in that.
So part of the reason we're starting to push it via the website through the alerts versus MailChimp is when we do stuff with MailChimp, that costs you money. I mean, that costs the POA money, which is your money. If we can start pushing it through our website, that is a free service offered through our website that our website provider provides for our community. And so we're really wanting to see people shift from an application that we have to pay for to an application that's included with the service we already get. So it's very important. If you haven't signed up for it, please do. Because we hope to be able to kind of move totally that
If you were signed up on the old system, or you signed up on
with the alerts, no, it's a completely new website. We put that website in place about May, maybe.
and you can't transfer the email addresses from one to the other.
It makes you sign up individually.
Yeah, and there's, like federal regulatory things around signing people up for things, you go through this one.
Plus, it's nice so you don't have to log in to see stuff.
No, you can just go straight to it.
Amber, I heard that a wedding was performed here and the customer was extremely happy. And I think that it's spilled over for some potential business. Thank you, thank Ruby and the maintenance crew that's put this on. Congratulations. We like happy customers. So thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely thank you to maintenance for that one. They were lots of work.
Perfect. Any questions for her?
The alerts that come over the phone, do those cost too?
No. So when you sign up for alerts on the website, you have an option. You can put in your phone number, your cell phone number. You can put in your email, or you can put in both. And so it goes out. If you put both in, you're going to get an alert via email and an alert on your phone.
Is that
So
one?
phone alerts will continue.
Yeah. Okay.
Speaking of alerts, wasn't there something I recall about a civil alert system that we were talking to the
It's right, it's on the right-hand side of the website. As soon as you get on the website, it should be kind of over there on the right where you can sign up for ours. Kind of like a water department.
The alerts that are coming from the pro shop, they used to be push with MailChimp. So are they still going to be?
Right now, they're still with MailChimp. What will happen once, when Enumerate is 100% in place, we'll be able to identify the walkthrough via that, and it will come out just like what it comes out now.
Any other questions? Yes, ma'am?
I say, what is they saying about, not being able to find addresses on the website? I have a picture of there, and instead of nowhere, I searched and searched, I cannot find.
I'll get it on. We're gonna add that to our.
We have that general line email, it goes to everybody.
Yeah, that's not what I wanted to do.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Sorry.
Okay, any other questions? We'll move on to the next item. Lakes Committee.
I'll fill in for Steve. So Doug, I know you were probably under the weather last week, so you weren't able to meet with them so they met recently with an actual company that manages and monitors your lakes and all that, so, we need to give them the information, the history of what's been going on here. They were a company that did this many years ago out here. So it's changed hands for a little while, and this is actually the same company that came out here many years ago. So they have some history of our lakes, and so we just need to give them kind of what has been going on the past couple of years, so then they can build their recommendation for us as a board. So I just need to get with whomever in the office has that information, so we can pass it over to them. Yeah, and just like managing, like they'll manage, they'll come do test your water, they'll send it out for samples, things like that. Make sure that the health in your lake is right, things like that. Make recommendations on, you need to put so much of this in this lake, so much of that over here, things like that, to keep it healthy and good.
Good. Any other questions? Okay, HLEA. Committee. Anybody here? Oh, there you go. All right, well, the horses are still alive and running. This is really a neat deal over here, isn't it? Because barn, all of that is just great for Hilltop. And that look, when you drive in, I mean, it's got a certain aesthetics to it, very pleasant around that we have that. Election committee.
So, is there anyone willing to take that as the chair for the election committee? Now we talked about that.
Well, they're all running towards us.
Pauline, I don't know. Pauline, I very much appreciate it.
That was enthusiastic. All right, I'm ready to put it off. Is there a adoptional person here today? Okay. All right, members to be heard. Let's see, Randy L. Petro. Yes, sir.
My name's Randy. Recently, ACC's been going through some challenges. Last Tuesday, I was called in and told I was going to be dismissed from the ACC. And other than my tone, there was nothing else explained to me as far as why this was happening. I asked for clarification. Basically, it came to tone. I don't know how you guys feel, but if you ask an employee to do something and it doesn't get done, I imagine your tone will change after the second and third time. There were letters, emails sent to members of the board 26th I come in. There's no easy way to tell you this, but you're off the board. You're off the committee. Now I asked them about the part where, they're getting this information from, that they have the authority to remove me. And they said that since they could put me on the board or the committee, that they can remove me from the committee. I disagree with that. In here, and what I'm looking for is something in plain language, like section 10.5, in reference to the board members, resignation and removal. Any executive officer may be removed from the office with or without cause by majority vote of the board of directors. That's pretty straightforward. That's what I was asking. Hopefully, in light of what you guys learned tonight, from finally getting an opportunity to talk to the ACC members, that there were some things that you guys were not made aware of, or informed of, or had shared with you. So I'm asking that you reconsider your position and reinstate me as the ACC chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. Deanna?
I don't need the mic if you guys are okay with that.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't need mine. But Hilltop Lakes is full of some of the kindest, most generous and caring people I've ever met. And I don't for 1 second regret moving here. We love this community. And we're told as Christians to share the light, the capital L, Jesus Christ, and the lowercase l, light, which is our light, and that's our gifts that are given to us. My husband has done nothing but good for this community. He has led the fight to remove the friends and family policy that used to be going on here. He's fought to enforce the deed restrictions so that your property values stay up, you don't have junk next to you, a lot of different things going on. So we can all enjoy our own property and the community, and he's done good here. And I'm embarrassed by what the board has done. I would say to the surrounding cities, if you want a place to work where you can pick and choose what tasks of your job to do, then you might want to come work here. If you don't like them, well, just tell the board and they'll get someone else to do it. If you don't like the chairperson of the committee that you work for, because he lets you know when you're not doing your job, or when you're not doing what you're asked to do, then Hilltop is the place for you. Who cares what you were hired to do? Hilltop lets you do whatever you want, because the job role is so low. So my advice to everyone here is be careful how you let your light shine, because it attracts bugs that bite. Sadly, that's how I see the board with the people I would have called my friends as bugs that bite.
Okay. Why would you relieve? I'm sorry. Why would you relieve from that?
It was an issue with an employee, multiple issues, but we're not able to talk about it in detail because it is an HR.
I can tell you what you're in. It wasn't easy, I promise you that. This was a constant conversation amongst the board. It's not easy.
Okay. Sylvia?
My name is Sylvia Guzman. I don't know if everyone here may or may not know me or heard of me. I've been coming to these POA meetings since I showed up at Hilltop Place and was allowed to show up into the meetings. And I've been very active in the community for numerous years, very active in concerns of the community for different POA issues and financial issues, as well as our water aquifer issues, help obviously I come with a joyful heart with what I'm trying to do for the community, and my concerns are always for the homeowners, that they get a nice return on their investment, but also a peaceful place to live and safe. So that's what my fight is for you, regardless of whether I'm on the board. Obviously, I've been fighting for y'all for years. So I appreciate the consideration. Thank you.
Mr. Chief, Carol Chief.
I'll speak loud enough that I don't think I need this microphone. My name is Carol Cheek. I moved to Hot Lakes in 1998. I've been here since. I have served on the board from 06 to 08. I was chair of the Architectural Control Committee and served my time in that. And I know a little bit about what's required. And it's unbelievable that something was put on Facebook about Randy Potro being relieved of his job. And that is unbelievable. I'm here I want to ask you to reconsider what you've done and make it right. I know Randy Potro is a businessman. He does business properly and wants his underlings to do the things that he requires. Now, if somebody got, let's just say, chewed out and the tone was wrong, I'm sorry. But Randy's doing his job. And we're very fortunate to have Indiana to come here to Hilltop Lakes.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions? Seems to be this. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I've been to most of the meeting, and did y'all vote on that? Did the board make a vote in open session on that?
On
the removal of the ACC chairman?
no, sir, we didn't do it in an open session. No, sir.
You voted and not in open session?
No. That's correct.
In closed session?
It wasn't closed session, it was just through email communication. Yes, sir.
Just curious, before you voted on it, did you talk to Randy to get his side of the story?
Yes,
Or
sir.
did you just vote on it?
No, sir, we talked to Randy.
You talked to me after I came into the meeting and you said, sorry, no easy way to say this, but we're removing you from the ACC chair position. There was no previous discussion. I emailed you some information that I wanted to get resolved before it got out of hand, and no response for nearly 2 weeks until I get the phone call.
The same day we asked you to come see us.
Excuse me?
The same day we asked you to come see us, the same day you sent the email. It wasn't 2 weeks later.
I sent you an email describing what the issue was that was going on and asking for help. In a phone conversation, asking me for help, trying to resolve this before.
No, you didn't, Randy. You sent an email that's the day we called you up there. That conversation.
That's incorrect. Friday, you did have one. I've got everything
You
documented.
said it, that's fine.
I've got everything documented.
Since you didn't vote in open session, what was the vote?
It was unanimous.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the president can't vote. Okay. But it was a unanimous decision.
But that's what I'm saying, is what was the vote, what was not?
They hadn't spoken to the ACC committee to get their opinion either.
Are
So y'all voted yes without ever having talked to any of the ACC committee? Is that right?
Right.
No, that's wrong. If you ask me, that's wrong.
I would say, I was under the assumption that Randy, the executive committee, the executive members had discussed with you, which was, that's what it was approached. As board members, which is the reason why we voted the way we voted.
I'm sure that's exactly what they're thinking.
And after the fact,
Yes.
there was one or two of us that wanted to retract.
Thank you.
That's how it happened.
And were you given the opportunity to?
No.
Okay,
So,
thank
Brandon,
you.
did you not have a discussion with Randy and Don and Farrell about he had one more chance?
That was last year.
No.
We had a discussion, me and you.
No.
Me and you, last year, Michelle, when we hired Michelle, me and you had a phone conversation about Michelle being the third or fourth individual that we had made and the liaison. And I told you, and I asked you, I said, Randy, I said, we've been through enough liaisons. I said, Michelle, she's gonna be the last one. If not, you guys are gonna have to find your own. That's exactly what we discussed. You did agree with it, but then we had that conversation. Okay?
I'm not gonna mention names, but you say three. The one, you guys fired.
Well, I wasn't part of that. That was them.
She wasn't on the ACC when you fired her.
You talking about Chelsea?
I'm not gonna mention names.
Well, I can tell you who they were. I mean, we knew
And number two was the manager, and, you know, so she was doing this.
We had liaisons that we had this past year when I was president was Chelsea, was Brittany, was Ruby. And then we hired Michelle.
Brittany.
The HR, she helped Ruby with the paperwork.
Yeah, Ruby was a temporary.
Yes, Ruby was a temporary, and then we hired Michelle.
And then, but the other girl had nothing to do, she was dismissed. You removed her from our committee, but you dismissed her for other reasons.
Yes.
I don't know what they were, and I don't care, and I apologize for names being thrown around.
Well, I mean, Ruby
was an interim, and then.
We hired Michelle.
And with her, they're documented where what you guys heard tonight from the committee, for the committee, right? Because you guys was with her.
Absolutely.
And that coincides with her, I'm not gonna work here anymore. I resign. Correct?
I don't know if she said that or not.
Yeah.
And who was, we preferred Michelle, we preferred Ruby.
It was Ruby.
Who was it?
Michelle.
Michelle, okay.
Yeah.
I don't recall that, so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that's what she.
All right, Brandon, one more question. Okay. That doesn't fall under legal, it doesn't fall under personnel, it doesn't fall under contract. Why was that not done in an open session where the people can hear everything?
He would fall under personnel.
He's not an employee.
But he interfaces with things.
But he's not an employee. That should be an open session, guys. That's something like that. That's a committee.
Committees have always been open session to get approved and not approved. Because I remember Randy not approving me one time, you know?
In open session?
In open session.
When I was on board, we had to approve the meeting, which was an open session, so you got to approve of the open session, I believe you have to dismiss the open session.
If we do that, it's almost confidential. Doesn't stand. If you do that, something like that in closed session, you may check with the attorney.
You already did. I already talked to the attorney before we did.
What did he say?
Couldn't do it, no problem. He also said the problem, we couldn't do it in open session because the biggest part of the reason was confidential, we can't put it out.
And then it was on the basis of it.
Right? We're trying to be transparent. That was an update. We put it out there and that was it. It was not lying or anything like that. So that was really just to make everyone aware and transparent. We weren't trying to hide it from anybody, right? We could have just done it and not said anything to anybody.
I don't think you have the authority to do it. That's what I think.
The lawyer
Well,
It says in the law.
ACC meeting. So that should give you plenty of time. Correct, Tony? That was the conversation? And we should be able to resolve this in that amount of time. Then I was more than willing to do whatever was necessary to get things back on course.
So let me ask you this, the bylaws say that the members of the ACC committee select their chairman. So if they vote to keep the chairman, I mean, you said you offered to stay on the committee. If he said yes, and they voted back in as chairman.
We're trying to work, right, we're trying to find the middle ground with that communication when that happened in the moment, but it just didn't go that way.
We're all just having your way to your job.
So, we're not gonna see all personnel.
I think y'all jumped in, I'm sending out letters to be fired. I think he should have called us in and told us what the situation was, which we knew already, and we could have helped explain it. But, no, we did an email, Randy's fired.
All right, point taken. All right.
You're a committee member, right?
I am.
All right. February 16th, 2026, end to agenda topics. Like,
So these are part of the protection fund.
gotcha.
So, I think roaming, Ray, was roaming starting to work on some of these repairs from this list?
He was, I don't know that he actually got into it, but I know that he was tasked to start some of this. So that when I stepped down as president, he hadn't started any of this stuff.
So then I guess.
But this is a TCEQ report that he did. We've got 5 years to get this done.
Yeah.
So, but he hadn't started when he was relieved from his position. He hadn't started any of this yet.
Years from 2024, right? Okay, so, so I say try to get this on Ruby's list of stuff, the monitor, and it probably be its own kind of work list. I think it's kind of separate, so we can make sure we track everything to the deadline date. Okay. Ernie, do you need anything? Or is this my notes? Bring it back up.
I think we're just tracking a lot now.
The next document is the damage safety section on our site here. All
We got all in.
Hogs. Okay, hogs, Doug?
They redone all the fence on the driving range and one is at 16 Fairway, and they want a new fence order, because the one they had there wouldn't kill the dog. And it's hooked up, lit up, you know what I'm saying? And we've got a new hog down, and we haven't called it out yet. We're prepared to do that whenever.
Yesterday, they got on the practice range and ripped it up.
Oh, did it?
Last night.
Is there fencing around that? Is there fencing around that?
Not all the way around it.
Is there something that's being done now? Is there something that's being done now for the hogs? Well, it's totally ineffective, whatever it is, I can tell you that.
Well, hogs are a big problem. I mean, you can trap them, you can kill them. We're gonna have to live with it, we're gonna have to manage it. Manage it. Yes, sir.
Are y'all getting Troy grass back out there?
No.
That's a different.
It's through Brady. Right? It's through you, the hog guy.
Well, no, not.
Well, you
not gonna deal with the board because he's had a problem with the board in the past, but he's need to work with me. Now, we just spent $1.5 million or something like that for our golf course. And we can't spend $500 a month. For that investment.
There's a guy in place that's just waiting for you to tell us when you're running. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the vice president of the wildlife team. We already have a guy. He's ready to come. Steve Barnett is waiting for you to talk to him so we can get him lined up.
Now, you have to be careful running the dogs when it comes because hunting season.
No, it's not being careful to run the dogs from hunting season. The previous guy ran his dogs whenever he wanted, wherever he wanted, without notifying anyone. That's what the problem is. I mean, if you want to be honest, that's what the problem is. Right? You have people sitting in their hunting stand with him and his four-wheeler and his dog running right through by their feet. That happened several times.
And let me ask you a question. Are those dogs highly trained?
Yes.
These dogs, so they don't have cats and dogs and everything else.
This guy's a professional hog.
Number two, does he have permission to get on the property off the hill? No, he does not.
And he doesn't run from the golf course until he gets the hog, and when he gets the hog, unlike Frank, he comes back to the golf course. He doesn't keep going out there. That was one of the big problems.
Okay, so can you send Tommy and Tony then that information for the guy so we can call him?
I don't have it. But y'all have Steve Barnett, the president's phone number.
Okay.
That's all you gotta do is talk to him because he has the guy ready to go.
I've got it at the house.
So you talk to him.
Yeah.
And you were gonna wait till hunting season.
Yeah. Now, what the discussion's gonna, if it's not, we're bringing it in there.
We just move on.
But I think you go ahead and do it, right? They're already destroying the golf course.
Yeah.
I think you go ahead and do it.
Yeah, because he's gonna run from the course when he gets the hog, and then back to the court. He's not gonna be running back to the back like the court.
What's the cost? How much is this gonna cost?
300.
Is he gonna
How
go
much?
on site?
300?
300 a month?
On site.
Per month?
No, per run.
Okay.
We run him every month, it'll be 300 a month. If we don't, we probably run him a couple of times to start with.
And then Troy was 500. Troy was 500. Doesn't matter if he ran one time or he ran 10 times.
And this guy tells me exactly when he's gonna be here, exactly where he went, how many hogs he got, writes everything down.
Is he gonna shoot him on site right there?
He's gonna catch those.
He's gonna catch him.
He's got big and catch dogs, he's got collars, he's a professional guy.
What's he do with the park?
He runs all over Franklin, he runs all over Robinson County, he runs all over Calvert, down in the Brazos Valley. I work with this guy.
Who is the guy running it?
What's that?
Who is he?
I believe his name is Cliff. I can't think of what his last name is. We haven't really met him. We met with him 3 months ago, I think, and been working on it since. There was another guy we were looking at who is really good, but he lives 3 hours from here, so it didn't seem feasible for him. The biggest thing was with the guy before was we didn't know when he was here or when he wasn't here because he didn't tell anybody.
That's wrong.
Well, we didn't have a dog problem when he was running, did we? I mean,
Don't do like back and forth debate.
No, the truth is the matter is this, and I've been hunting dogs my whole life, I've been dealing with dogs my whole life. I don't care if the Pope came down here with dogs, you're not gonna get the hogs to leave Hilltop Lakes alone. When there's no water, the golf course has water. Everyone around the golf course does not use the right chemicals to kill grubs in their yard. When they get nothing in the river bottom, they're coming to Hilltop. A dog will run them back there, and they'll come back.
Okay, so we agree that we'll start, we spent a lot of money on irrigation.
We're gonna do this
It's
week.
not gonna be a problem.
I can get a hold of it this week, get him out here. That's it.
All right.
Get a bunch of Indians.
Pauline, you met with him recently.
I did.
I did meet with the dog kennel committee, and we had a good talk about
when they do donate to the dog kennel, are properly reflecting what that money is for. That it's gonna be designated specifically for the dog kennel. It's not gonna go into just a big pot that we can do whatever with. It will be specifically designated for the dog kennel. And I'm just working on getting that button, making sure the reports, when they come back for the office staff to be able to properly allocate those funds that come in, making sure that's right, and that when you push that button, you know that that's what you're donating for. You're not just making a random donation.
Can I say something? The dog situation, I was animal control here for 12 years. The dog situation has been since the 1960s when this place was formed. It's not going to go away. What we need to do is have a consequence, because here lately I've heard of serious dog bites, and we are going to get sued. I mean, one woman had to spend $5,000 for her medical care and her dog. There needs to be a consequence for people who are not responsible for their animals. And until that happens, there's going to be certain... I know of one incident in Normandy where there were animal problems can cause serious problems with adults. There's been people shot. There's been people beat up. I mean, kids come home from school and they see their dogs laying in the driveway dead because they were controlled and someone got pissed off and killed them, and they put them back in the person's driveway. It's a very serious problem how it's handled. There has to be a consequence. We all have to be responsible for our pets because it's dangerous to humans. There have been children killed by dogs running loose. So it's a serious problem. It isn't going away, and we need to have consequences for people who don't be responsible for the animals. And that's not unreasonable.
Nancy, was that the person that just got attacked on our street on Sammy Sneed?
Yeah, there's been four.
Yeah,
four in
by
one
two
year.
big dogs. One of them was a German Shepherd.
And also...
On Sammy Sneed, yes. And
When
she
I
was
was
an
in-
elderly lady, and she normally walks her dog with her 2-year-old granddaughter or grandchild.
And when I was animal control, if there's a dog bite, you have to go to the person and prove, they have to have proof that that dog has been vaccinated for rabies. That's state law. If a dog bites more than 3 times, a judge can order that dog to be put down with no choice of the owner. I mean, it's a serious situation, we need to take it serious.
I'm curious if we don't invest $1,000 a month in animal control, then what would your resolution be?
I'm just making property owners aware of what their maintenance, part of what their maintenance fee goes to is to take care of the dog kennels, and that's why we were looking at doing the donation. Because realistically, that's probably not enough to cover what needs to be going on related to dog kennels. But do we want to take money away from roads to take care of dogs? You see what I'm saying? We get into a thing where we've got to figure out, we have this pot of money, how do we best utilize that money for all of the property owners of Hilltop?
How long do you keep a dog in captivity before you euthanize? And who does that? We gonna feed these dogs to a guy over there?
That's our concern.
I mean, they're just staying there.
So we just like to keep you,
Do we
have
have
more dogs in the kennel,
Do we have an account of how that $1,000 was spent?
400 of it goes towards supplies. Yeah. 400 of
I
it.
don't, I mean, do you actually have
Receipts for-
receipts?
Yes, ma'am.
For all of that?
Yes, ma'am.
$1,000?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's not enough. And then is there out of money, out of pocket, that the dog collector, I know Nancy, you spent your $1,000,000.
And that doesn't even include the utilities to keep it turned on, the power, the water. That's just the food and supplies and the vet bills and all that, so.
That's what I'm asking. It's not his whole receipt.
Yes, there are receipts for every penny that is spent. There are receipts turned in, and it is accounted for and checked.
Is there a record of donations that are given?
I mean,
Well, that's where this part of the disconnect is, because the donations haven't come to our office.
Well, I know when Nancy send it directly to
Right.
her.
And so that's what we're trying, that's why I'm saying, when we're trying to get this button set up, so if people want to make donations, that it's designated, and that we train the staff to know when they get a donation in that's for the dog kennels, that is designated for the dog kennels. It will be considered other income, but it will be classified to the dog kennels.
And they'll bill it.
Just out of curiosity, what's the liability for not just the kennels, but also the person that maintains the kennels? And any situations that come up outside the kennels, you know, as they capture a dog or something, what's the liability on that? And or what's the regulatory stuff for their being, you know, licensed or whatever? Do we know?
I don't think they get it though.
Well, I mean, I remember them calling Nancy all the time to get her to come and capture a dog. So,
That's what the job is.
yeah, so, I mean, that is part of the job. I mean, I guess my question is,
So you're involved quite a bit with her, right? No?
It's your thing, $400 buys food.
And then the other money goes, to support the staff that takes care of it.
That's a liability right there. That's under your liability as an employee.
then we need to research.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I got a question. We have the dog kennel over there, and we have people adopting now. Do we charge a fee for it? There should be a fee for them to adopt a dog. I don't care if it's $5. It would go towards helping to support the dogs.
That's exactly why we need a donation fund, and you can give that money to the dog kennel.
No, it's not a donation, it's a fee.
It doesn't go to somebody else's pocket, it goes directly to the POA,
but that's what I'm saying.
Hilltop Lake's website, and you give it to the lady while she's standing there with the dog.
Talking about if someone wants to go adopt a dog, you charge them.
I'm talking about.
I have adopted, I've fostered, I've had 30 dogs in my life, so I know the whole scenario. And I have surrendered dogs to foster them in my home, but they belong to the 501(c).
Okay, but
Okay?
see, I'm not
And
talking
I
about
collected that money,
donations.
but I had to give it to that lady when I got the dog adopted. But you don't just take a dog and then just have a fee that goes directly to an employee. And
No, it goes towards the
yeah,
kennel.
the adoption. Okay, we can establish that, but
Yeah,
they're
it
not
needs to
being
be
adopted for free, okay?
Nobody's making it for free.
What the heck? We really do need like a nonprofit designation for like a dog thing, so she could take them off of this hill and go run an adoption at a legitimate storefront. But they don't let just anybody show up with dogs to sell them on their side, or they're not a nonprofit. They're not set up to do that.
It's already been talked about.
Not this town.
Do that.
She's not set up to do it. It takes, you have to be incorporated, and you have to file with the IRS, you have to get a special designation, which Hilltop Lakes is not a 501(c).
Even if we were, we
So
can't
it
give
doesn't
away
take
for
but a
free.
couple $100, so maybe make a donation, we could actually get a nonprofit status and go have the dog adopted somewhere down the road.
Yes, sir. There's a list on the website that has pictures of the dogs that are available for adoption. Now everybody does that. So that should be something that
Does the,
Members to be heard on the topics.
Back to the, I know the dogs have been beaten to death right now. Does Leon County have any kind of dog rescue? That's our problem. We have to go to Leon County because people are dumping dogs in Hilltop because they know we're suffering.
They dump them all over down I-45, from Buffalo to Centerville, Madisonville, there's dogs are dumped everywhere, not just here.
well, we've got people that drive in here and then dump them.
Well, that's why I'm asking. Maybe we need to hit up Leon County.
Well, it is an election year.
They are.
we're not gonna sign these documents.
No. That's a big no.
Cross your heart.
Cross my heart. Yeah.
Yeah, none of that happens. It really is.
Either.
Around employee operations and all that we discussed when we were back then, that's pretty, there's no other thing to it, so. That's
So-
correct.
One more thing, the 911 address.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Well, so because I have done a lot of hard work around this 911 readdress, and I kind of put it down. Okay, so today, we're taking it section by section, right? So today we walked through the ABC streets, and then we walked through the Meadows to the airport area, right? And so one change that will be happening is post Oak, right? It's now going to be all the way. It's a single road, so Acapulco is going to go away. It's going to be post Oak all the way from the start of where Acapulco starts, all the way to where it turns into Hickory Ridge. Hickory, whatever it is now, because they promised the last meeting would be Hickory Ridge, and they came out with Hickory Bend. So Acapulco goes away, but we were able to keep majority of the roads, even though their recommendation was, well, we don't believe someone with a GED can pronounce these street names. You need to change them. We said no. We said no. So, like Guacamora stayed. Eden Rock had to just turn into Eden Lane, things like that. So Fountain Blue then turned into Fountain Lane. So simple like that. They didn't want to have two names of the same school. But then what we did and because everything on that side is a lane. So everything is a lane. They were wanting to make it some things a road, some things a lane, some things a street. We kept it all a lane to keep it consistent. And then for the Meadow area, everything that had a house on it stayed the same. Everything that does not have a house on it is getting a new name. Name TBD. We don't really care because nobody lives there, so we're not going to argue with them over that, right? And then some of the streets in Airport, help me. Hyper Circle is changing. Oh yeah, Tri-Pacer is changing to Pace. They're starting to try. Then you've got Paracoup is just changing to Echo. It's on to Echo. And then Springview is TBD. So Tony is going to work with the Airport City folks in that area to figure out what name they would want that matches that area. But most of the street names we were able to kind of say, hey, we don't really care that that's your preference is to change it. We want to keep it the same. Most things have to get a post type. So, if you were only like Nassau, if it was Nassau only, it became Nassau Lane, things like that. So, but everybody's still getting a new number. We can't change the number schematics that they're coming out with, but we are trying to keep at least the street names the same. Now, this next meeting is all of golf course area. This next meeting. So, because our next meeting is on a Saturday, and they're government employees, they don't really work on a Saturday, so we're going to end up having to have a session with them sometime during the week, so then we can work through, and he expects us to, carve out an hour and a half to go through because there are so many bends in the road and the streets around the golf course. It's going to be a little while So we have to wait until we are greater than 80% finished. So that will be at this next meeting. And so it's going to be at least the end of April, he said, before they will send them test files, and it will be early May before it's implemented. Right now.
My hope is that we will be able to have stuff shipped to our house, and then, or try to work something, and they say, oh, that address doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's going to take a while. So we have no control over that, unfortunately. We can't supply them with the file, the Rice Valley call. It's really out of our control. We are only trying to push what we can push, and that is where we can keep the street name. We need to keep the street name. And quite frankly, when I stepped into this, we were not there. It was this is what it's going to be. This is how it is. Take it or leave it. And we are much more engaged with them today.
I don't know if that was the case when we just started when we stepped in, so any conversation, it was. So we hadn't even started.
There were several meetings that had been had in this.
Either here or there.
Yeah, let them know.
Tomorrow early voting starts. I hope everybody will go vote because Hilltop Place has the second largest voting population in the county, and we can make a difference. When we vote.
Six letters.
The lady you're talking to at the 911 office, this is a Judge Ryder question and hers. If you ever come by our house, it's got 161. They make those. We spent $10. Judge Ryder and that office needs to provide those for everybody who does a change number, and that becomes your fire station out there in front. Look it up, go by my house. We pay for it, 161 this way, or you can have it vertical or horizontal. And they're like $10, they're cheap. And he's getting a profit out of that deal. I know they are. Because they got the machine. I mean, they had it done in 5 minutes.
Motion to adjourn.
I make motion to adjourn.
I said,
Everybody go vote. Yes, we can make a difference.
Leave it open.
That's why he doesn't know.
They told him to afford it. Yeah, man.